that we can build trust again. Oh yeah, but that's what it had to be. Is it have to be trust. And right now,
Robyn betrays Kody. The secret he never saw coming. That's not true. I threw up physically. I've kept it in too long, just like Christine. And now I see. Robyn took everything. And I didn't even see it coming. The world of sister. Wives has never lacked chaos. But this is something different. Something darker. A betrayal so personal, so precise. It's left even Kody Brown stunned, penniless, abandoned, and humiliated. Behind the public smiles and tearful interviews, Robyn Brown, the woman Kody once called his soulmate, may have been orchestrating a quiet financial coup. One that would leave her with everything, and Kody with nothing. The unthinkable. Robyn now owns IT. All sources close to the Brown family have confirmed what many only whispered. Robyn now controls nearly every major asset once tied to the family, from homes, vehicles, and bank accounts to business holdings. Documents show Kody's name has been systematically removed, leaving him financially exposed and legally irrelevant. While fans were busy debating family dynamics, Robyn was allegedly executing a master plan that spanned over a decade. A plan that froze Kody out financially while building a fortress around herself and her children. And Kody, he had no idea. How did she pull this off? The pieces are now falling into place, and they paint a chilling picture. 1. The emotional stronghold. Robyn secured Kody's absolute trust early. She was the understanding one, the loyal one, the only wife who believed in his vision. Kody leaned on her emotionally, but she leaned in with purpose. 2. Title transfers in disguise under the pretense of simplifying legal paperwork. Kody reportedly began shifting property titles into Robyn's name, homes, vehicles, even business accounts. Christine and Janelle questioned it on camera. Kody dismissed them. They saw manipulation. He saw devotion. 3 LLCs and secret accounts. Robyn allegedly set up business entities, LCs claiming they were for family ventures. In truth, she was the sole owner, and while family money flowed into these companies, Robyn kept full control. For debt-dumping sources say Robyn encouraged Kody to take out massive loans and mortgages, always promising, "We're in this together." But the debts, solely in Kody's name, the assets, solely in Robyn's. She protected herself. He was left holding the bag. The day Kody found out in late 2024, the illusion shattered. Foreclosure letters, debt collectors, Kody's financial empire was crumbling, and he realized he didn't actually own anything. Not the Flagstaff mansion, not the cars, not the accounts, not even his own future. He confronted Robyn devastated. A reported response: "I did what I had to do to protect myself and my kids. You were never going to." It was the final blow. She had used his trust as a weapon. Why would Robyn do this? That's the question haunting fans and insiders alike. The answers are chilling. Self-preservation. Robyn watched Christine, Janelle, and Mary walk away empty-handed. She swore she'd never let that happen to her. And now it won't. Resentment. She resented Kody's financial recklessness, his blind spots, his delusions. "If I don't protect us," she allegedly told a friend, "he'll destroy everything." A secret exit plan. Some believe Robyn was never truly Olen, but she's been planning an escape, and now with the assets in her name, she can walk away clean. Rumors swirl of a new man in her life, and she's been seen house hunting in Utah. The fallout. Kody is crushed. Those close to Kody say he's a shell of the man he once was. "She led me to believe she was my only ally," Kody reportedly told a friend. "She gutted me." Meanwhile, the ex-wives aren't surprised. Christine reportedly laughed and said, "Karma's quick these days." Janelle, ever blunt, said he made his bed. Now he can lie in it. And Mary, silent. But her silence says more than words ever could. Robyn's silence and her next move, she's made no public comment. But neighbors say she seems unbothered, almost peaceful. Wait, she's been seen grocery shopping, attending church, smiling with her kids. But Kody, he's nowhere in sight. Sources say she's exploring restarting her boutique business, My Sister Wife's Closet, possibly now as a solo brand. Can Kody fight back? Legally, it's not looking good. Most of the transfers were voluntary. The LLCs were legitimate. And unless Kody can prove manipulation or fraud, he's powerless. It's reportedly exploring bankruptcy. The internet explodes. The Sister Wives fandom is in a frenzy. She played the long game, and she won. Kody bet everything on Robyn. She cashed the check. It's betrayal at a Shakespearean level. Final thoughts after years of claiming Robyn was his one true love. The woman he spiritually connected with, Kody Brown, may now have to face a truth more painful than any divorce. She didn't just leave him. She took everything.
But now I'm like going, I don't want to be triggered. Let's see if we can reconcile. Let's talk about this. And she's going, I think.
I underestimated her completely, Kody muttered, staring blankly ahead. She played me like a fiddle. I never even saw the strings. The Brown family, once paraded as the embodiment of plural harmony on TLC's Sister Wives, is no longer just fractured dideates, obliterated. And at the very center of that implosion is Robyn Brown, the wife who entered the family last and left with everything. She was once seen as the peacemaker, the woman who cried on cue, who said she only wanted sisterhood and love. But as the dust now settles, many are wondering if it was all a carefully staged performance. Because today, Kody Brown, once the patriarch of 4 wives, 18 children, and the face of plural marriage in America's broke, betrayed, and barely hanging on. And Robyn, she's still in the $1 million Flagstaff mansion, alone, untouched, untouchable. The betrayal. Robyn took it all. The most explosive revelation of 2024 didn't come on screen. It came in the form of leaked legal documents. Documents that showed the unimaginable. Nearly every major family asset, houses, vehicles, businesses, had been quietly signed over to Robyn. Kody didn't own the home he lived in. He didn't have access to the family bank accounts. He was drowning in loans and debt, all in his name. Robyn's name. Absent from every liability, but present on every deed. He was financially wiped out. He hadn't seen it coming. The secret plan, a decade in the making. How did this happen? It wasn't spontaneous, it was surgical. It started in 2010, when Robyn entered the family. She was different, more modern, more polished, more emotionally in tune with Kody, and he fell hard. But while Kody believed he had found his spiritual match, Robyn was laying a different foundation, a foundation that put her at the center of control. 1. Emotional monopoly. She didn't just become another wife. She became Kody's only confidant. The other wives noticed immediately. Kody consulted Robyn on everything: parenting, finances, real estate, even spiritual matters. She wasn't just in his heart, she was in his ear. 2. Property transfers slowly, methodically. Kody began transferring ownership of property to Robyn, first to simplify things, then to protect the family. He never made the same offers to Janelle, Christine, or Mary. They questioned it. He silenced them. 3. Business takeover. Robyn created LLCs on paper for family businesses. In reality, she was the sole owner. Family money flowed into them. Kody signed the checks. Robyn kept the profits. For debt dumping, Robyn allegedly encouraged Kody to take on large mortgages, loans, and credit tollways in his name. But the properties those loans secured, titled to her. By the time Kody realized what had happened, it was too late. The breaking point. When Kody discovered the truth, it came in waves. First, missed payments. Then foreclosure letters. Then a call from a collections agency that rattled him to his core. And finally, the truth. He owned nothing. When he confronted Robyn, her words were ice cold. I did what I had to do too. Protect myself and my kids. You can't be trusted, Kody. That moment broke him. He had loved her more than any of the others. And she had gutted him. The wives saw it. Coming Christine warned him first. He didn't listen. Janelle saw the signs and fought to be heard. He dismissed her as overreacting. Mary begged for connection. He told her to move on. They all watched as Kody handed over the keys to the kingdom, and they were powerless to stop it. Financial experts now call Kody's choices reckless and emotionally compromised. In any marriage, handing over full financial control is dangerous. In a plural marriage with 4 wives and 18 kids, catastrophic. And Kody made every wrong move. The fallout, bankruptcy, betrayal, and silence today. Kody is reportedly facing personal bankruptcy. Everything he built, gone. The man who once stood as the head of a vast plural family is now a cautionary tale. Meanwhile, Robyn, she's quietly thriving. She hasn't spoken publicly, but locals in Flagstaff say she's serene, calm, detached, almost like she's already moved on. Some claim she's been spotted with a new man. Others say she's considering moving to Utah. The woman who once cried on national television is now sitting on a fortune. Kody can no longer touch. Janelle and Mary finally speak. Janelle, long known for her composure, finally said what fans were thinking. He forgot us. We were invisible to him the moment she arrived. Mary, who clung to hope longer than most, shared. He stopped. Seeing me, he stopped trying. And I kept trying to convince myself that he would come back, but he never did. Both women now live free of Kody, and for the first time in decades, they are choosing themselves. The moment that said it all, Gabriel's birthday, there's a moment that fans say defines Kody's downfall. His son Gabriel had a birthday. Kody didn't show. No phone call, no visit. Nothing. That moment wasn't just a forgotten birthday. It was a symbol of how far Kody had drifted from his children, from his responsibilities, from the very foundation he claimed to protect. Janelle was heartbroken. Gabriel, devastated, and fans, furious. The lessons were left. With this story is more than reality TV drama. It's a chilling reminder of what happens when emotional trust replaces accountability. Love is weaponized, loyalty is exploited, and silence becomes complicity. The Brown family didn't just fall apart, it was methodically dismantled. What's next? Rumors swirl of TLC spin-offs. Christine's new life with David Woolley. The next generation of Brown kids, Janelle's solo journey of empowerment. But one thing is clear. Kody's patriarchy is over. And Robyn, whether you see her as a survivor or the architect of collapse, one thing's undeniable. She didn't just win Kody's heart. She walked away with everything. The forgotten son, Gabriel's birthday, and the breaking of the Brown family. Narration Part 1. The moment that broke a son, Gabriel Brown sat in silence as the minutes on the clock ticked by. It was his birthday, a day that should have felt warm, special, celebrated. In the Brown family, birthdays had always been sacred. Amid the complexities of a plural marriage, the chaos of 18 siblings, and the rotating presence of a shared father, birthdays stood out. They were a day for individual recognition, for a child to feel seen, cherished. But this birthday, Gabriel felt like a ghost. No call, no visit, no text, nothing from his father. This wasn't about a slice of cake or a wrapped gift. This was about a boy crying out to be acknowledged by his father. For Gabriel, it was the moment that cemented the pain he had been carrying for years. The moment that said, unmistakably, "You are not worth remembering." Narration Part 2. The erosion of a family ideal. The Brown family once stood as a symbol of a modern, polygamous unit built, not on coercion or old doctrines, but on mutual love, respect, and unity. Kody Brown married Mary, then Janelle, Christine, and finally Robyn, building a family that at first glance seemed both unconventional and harmonious. Their show, Sister Wives, invited millions into their world. The Browns preached togetherness, openness, and the power of love. But behind the scenes, cracks began to show. And as time wore on, those cracks became chasms. Gabriel's birthday was not the beginning, it was the culmination. Narration Part 3. Janelle the backbone overlooked. Janelle was never the loudest. She didn't seek attention. She worked. She built. She sacrificed. So while Kody split his time, Janelle picked up the slack. She worked outside the home, provided financially, and raised her children with steady, unrelenting devotion. But even the strongest backbone begins to ache. Over the years, Janelle watched as the balance shifted. Kody's presence dwindled in her home. His smiles, once shared around their dinner table, now seemed reserved exclusively for Robyn and her children. It wasn't just about being there. It was about choosing to be there. And Kody wasn't choosing them anymore. Narration Part 4. Gabe, a sensitive soul in a turbulent storm, Gabriel, affectionately known as Gabe, was passionate and bright, with a sensitivity that made him beloved by fans. He admired his father deeply. Like any son, he wanted approval, attention, love. He didn't need perfection. He needed presence. But that presence became more and more elusive. As Kody's focus narrowed on Robyn's household, Gabe became invisible. The shift wasn't subtle. It was glaring. He saw it in missed dinners, canceled plans, and in the cold silence of his phone on his birthday. For a child, that silence was a deafening indictment. You don't matter. Narration Part 5. The pandemic excuse. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, everything changed, but not equally for everyone. Kody implemented strict rules, supposedly to protect the entire family. But the enforcement of those rules was uneven. Robyn's household saw him regularly. Janelle's kids, they were told to comply or lose access. Gabriel struggled with those rules. He wanted to go to school, work, have a life. He wasn't reckless. He just didn't see the fairness in what was being demanded. He questioned his father, and in return, he received distance. Narration Part 6. The day that cut deep on Gabriel's birthday, the silence was louder than any shouting match. He waited all day. Every minute stretched out like a lifetime. Surely his father would call. Surely he hadn't forgotten. But as the sun set and the house remained quiet, the truth settled in. Gabe cried on camera, bravely sharing his heartbreak. It was like I didn't even exist to him anymore, he said. It wasn't teenage angst. It was abandonment. Real, piercing, and permanent. Narration Part 7. Janelle's last straw. Janelle had tolerated many things. She'd defended Kody even when he didn't deserve it. But Gabriel's pain broke something in her. She confronted Kody. You didn't even call your son on his birthday. You know what that did to him? Kody's defense was clinical. Trying to keep everyone safe. If he can't follow the rules, that's on him. But for Janelle, it wasn't about safety. It was about priorities. And hers had been ignored for too long. In that moment, something shifted. The years of loyalty were no longer enough to justify the growing neglect. Narration Part 8. The double standards exposed. The inconsistency in Kody's actions was impossible to ignore. He bent rules for Robyn's house. He showed up there, laughed there, lived there. But for Janelle's children, the rules were rigid. The visits non-existent. The message was clear. Some children mattered more than others. Gabriel absorbed that message, and it devastated him. Narration Part 9. The fallout among siblings. Gabriel wasn't alone. Garrison, Savannah, and others had watched the same story unfold. When Gabriel's birthday was ignored, Garrison lashed out. You're not a father if you can't even pick up the phone, he told Kody. Christine, long divorced from Kody, weighed in too. She had helped raise these kids. She knew their worth. That's not how a dad acts, she said. And she was right. Narration Part 10. The emotional collapse of a family that missed birthday became a symbol. It represented years of neglect, favoritism, and disconnection. For Gabriel, it meant the loss of a father he once idolized. "He's not my dad anymore," he said. "It's just a guy who used to be around." That wasn't rebellion, it was heartbreak. Narration Part 11. Janelle walks away a few months later. Janelle did what she once thought unthinkable. She left. "If you can't show up for your kids, what's left for me?" she asked Kody. And with that, another tie was severed. Narration Part 12. Kody's defiance, even as the family fractured, Kody held firm. In interviews, he insisted, "I love my kids, but I can't reward disobedience." He framed love as something conditional based on respect, which he defined as obedience. To many, it was confirmation of what they feared. Kody valued control more than connection. Narration Part 13. Fans react with fury when the episode aired. Fans were livid. Social media erupted. "You don't even call your own son on his birthday," they asked. The backlash was fierce. Viewers stood behind Gabriel, praising his vulnerability and mourning his pain. Narration Part 14. A pattern revealed. Gabriel's story wasn't unique. Logan, Garrison, Isabel all had their own wounds. Kody's absences were habitual, his presence selective, his favoritism plain. Narration Part 15. The final blow, each forgotten moment added to the fracture. Gabriel's birthday was the final blow, a moment that confirmed what so many feared. Kody Brown had stopped being a father long ago. Narration Part 16. A lesson in presence. This isn't just a story about polygamy. It's about parenthood, about the importance of showing up. Children don't remember every word, but they remember presence, or the lack of it. A missed call isn't small. It's monumental, especially when it echoes a lifetime of being second place. Narration Part 17. Healing begins elsewhere today. Gabriel is on his own path. His relationship with Kody remains strained, but his bond with Janelle and his siblings is strong. He's finding himself outside the shadow of paternal disappointment. Janelle, too, is thriving. Her independence has become an inspiration. Fans see her as a pillar of strength, proof that walking away is sometimes the most courageous act of all. Narration Part 18. The fragile future. Kody remains with Robyn, but even that bond shows cracks. Trust, once lost, is hard to rebuild. And with most of his older children emotionally distant, questions linger. Can these wounds ever truly heal? Narration Part 19. A story that resonates. Gabriel's birthday was more than a missed moment. It was a reckoning. It's a reminder that children see more than we think. And when we fail to show up, the damage can last a lifetime. Narration Part 20. The final reflection as the Brown family continues to drift. One truth stands above the noise. Love is not words. Love is presence. And in the end, that's what Gabriel wanted most. Not perfection, just to be remembered. Just to be called. Just to be loved. To be loved. When the cameras turn off behind the scenes, and the lights fade and the scripted confessionals end, the real silence settles in. Gabriel withdrew. Not from the cameras, but from the man he once proudly called Dad. Friends close to the family say he rarely speaks of Kody anymore. Not in anger, not even in sadness. It's just absence, like a gap in the wall that once held something meaningful. A void too large to patch over with time. Gabe's quiet doesn't mean he isn't processing. It means he's choosing where to invest his energy. And increasingly, it's not in trying to fix a broken bond that never healed from its first fracture. Narration Part 22. Robyn's role in the rift. It's impossible to tell this story without acknowledging Robyn's role in the family's shifting dynamics. While she often portrays herself as the peacemaker, viewers and family alike have noted how her presence reshaped everything. Her children became the focal point. Her needs took priority. And Kody, who once split time and attention among his wives, became a near-permanent resident in her home. Was it Robyn's fault? Or did she simply accept what Kody freely offered? Either way, the impact was real. Her presence marked the turning point in Kody's relationships with his older children, especially those from Janelle and Christine. Narration Part 23. The Vanishing Patriarch as the years passed, Kody Brown. Once the bustling patriarch of a sprawling family seemed to shrink in scope. He no longer appeared as the connective tissue holding four homes together. Instead, he became a presence in one house, a visitor in others, and a stranger to some. Children like Gabriel felt that slow vanishing act every day, not through fights or dramatic exits, but in quiet, slow-growing neglect. A dinner missed here, a milestone ignored there, until one day there was nothing left to miss. Narration Part 24. A mother's guilt. Janelle carries her own kind of grief. It's not just anger at Kody's, the ache of watching her children, hurt and wondering if she could have shielded them better. For years she made excuses, tried to smooth the cracks with love and stability. But stability without support, without the other parent showing up, only goes so far. Now, in hindsight, Janelle sees it all more clearly. And it hurts. Because while she was holding everything together, the walls were slowly collapsing. And Gabriel, one of her gentlest souls, bore the brunt of that fall. Narration Part 25. A. Ripple through the family tree. Gabriel's story is one chapter, but it echoes through every branch of the Brown family tree. From Logan's quiet disappointment, to Garrison's blunt criticism, to Savannah's withdrawn sorrow-aged child, experienced the slow erosion of paternal presence differently. Some fought back, some walked away, some still hope. But none of them can claim to have emerged unscathed. Narration Part 26. Christine's grief for Janelle's kids. Christine, though no longer a wife in the family, still sees Janelle's kids as her own. She once mothered them alongside her own, built routines, memories, and bonds. Watching their pain unfold, especially Gabriel's left, her torn. Her instinct was to protect, but now all she could do was comfort. In private moments, Christine has expressed regret. Not in leaving Kody, but in not doing more to shield the children from the emotional chaos that grew over the years. We saw it happening, she reportedly told a friend, but we didn't know how deep the wound would go. Narration Part 27. The ghost of what could have been. Every fractured family carries the weight of what could have been. What if Kody had made that call? What if he had seen Gabriel's pain as something worth fixing instead of disciplining? What if love had been unconditional? Those what-ifs don't offer closure. They hang in the air like fog, refusing to lift. Gabriel lives with those questions every day quietly, perhaps, but deeply, and so do his siblings. Narration Part 28. Kody's isolation. Now, more than ever, Kody finds himself isolated. Not physically, perhaps he still has Robyn, but emotionally the bridge to so many of his children has burned. Some days he seems defiant. Other times he appears weary. But rarely does he speak the words that matter most. I was wrong. 4. Reconciliation to happen, it must begin with humility. And from Kody, that has been in short supply. Narration Part 29. Hope in the next generation. Despite the heartbreak, not all is lost. The Brown children, resilient, bonded by shared experiences, have each other. They've learned how to be present because they've lived the pain of absence. Gabriel, Garrison, Logan, Madison, they're crafting new legacies, based not on avoidance, but on connection. Some of them have started their own families, and they're determined to do better. Narration Part 30. The unfinished story. Gabriel's birthday marked a turning point, but not the final chapter. Healing is never linear. It doesn't come neatly or quickly. But it begins somewhere. For Gabriel, it began the moment he allowed himself to cry on Cameron, not just for the viewers, but for himself, to say, "This hurt." The Brown family's story continues, messy and public. But through the pain, a truth endures. Children remember who showed up, and that memory shapes everything that follows. I underestimated her completely, Kody muttered, staring blankly ahead. She played me like a fiddle. I never even saw the strings. The Brown family, once paraded as the embodiment of plural harmony on TLC's Sister Wives, is no longer just fractured dideates, obliterated. And at the very center of that implosion is Robyn Brown, the wife who entered the family last and left with everything. She was once seen as the peacemaker, the woman who cried on cue, who said she only wanted sisterhood and love. But as the dust now settles, many are wondering if it was all a carefully staged performance. Because today, Kody Brown, once the patriarch of 4 wives, 18 children, and the face of plural marriage in America's broke, betrayed, and barely hanging on. And Robyn, she's still in the $1 million Flagstaff mansion, alone, untouched, untouchable. The betrayal. Robyn took it all. The most explosive revelation of 2024 didn't come on screen. It came in the form of leaked legal documents. Documents that showed the unimaginable. Nearly every major family asset, houses, vehicles, businesses, had been quietly signed over to Robyn. Kody didn't own the home he lived in. He didn't have access to the family bank accounts. He was drowning in loans and debt, all in his name. Robyn's name. Absent from every liability, but present on every deed. He was financially wiped out. He hadn't seen it coming. The secret plan, a decade in the making. How did this happen? It wasn't spontaneous, it was surgical. It started in 2010, when Robyn entered the family. She was different, more modern, more polished, more emotionally in tune with Kody, and he fell hard. But while Kody believed he had found his spiritual match, Robyn was laying a different foundation, a foundation that put her at the center of control. 1. Emotional monopoly. She didn't just become another wife. She became Kody's only confidant. The other wives noticed immediately. Kody consulted Robyn on everything: parenting, finances, real estate, even spiritual matters. She wasn't just in his heart, she was in his ear. 2. Property transfers slowly, methodically. Kody began transferring ownership of property to Robyn, first to simplify things, then to protect the family. He never made the same offers to Janelle, Christine, or Mary. They questioned it. He silenced them. 3. Business